Speaking of family therapy, it is about family. And I'm bringing a big bunch of movies. Really just the last out of the 10 in this franchise, the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Oh, okay.
In a classic Ed move, I watched all of the movies.
Oh, my goodness.
In the release order. So that meant, watching Tokyo Drift for the second time in my life. But overall, because there's so many crossover characters and they had such a long time to develop, it's not at the 4th season where you're like, I don't know, what are you going to do now? This is like, yeah, I watched the franchise go from they had no idea how long they're going to go running for or how long this drive was going to be.
How long this drive was going to be.
It's not going to be a quarter mile.
It's not. They aren't living a quarter mile at a time anymore, people. From that initial storyline, they did get into crime-solving mystery movies for 2 or 3 there. There was where's Dom in the second movie? He's not in the second movie at all. Not just Tokyo Drift. When they came back and it's just Paul Walker, which, first of all, I love. What?
He goes to Miami. Dom is not in Miami.
I know.
Okay.
Meaning they loosened it up immediately and allowed more worlds to happen in that franchise. So then by the time they got back to the Fast and the Furious actual group together, by the 5th movie.
The 5th movie?
I know, right?
My
I'm like, wow, this is why I haven't watched these all in a while. Because after the first one, there's 3 in a row that aren't really my favorites. They're just kind of crime spree capers. Okay. But by the time you get back to the 5th one, where I think the 5th one is when they're going to Brazil. And they're doing the bank robbery down there because there's a bad guy. And, of course, that's when The Rock enters this franchise because he's, an international cop, basically, and he's after them because they've been committing crimes everywhere. But they're actually trying to get a bad guy. So they're criminals getting bad guys. I don't know. Maybe they're the good guys. Whatever. That was that's kind of where the franchise reset. But given that I'm saying it's all about family, that really was what they did, was they reset and they incorporated more of the family stories into it. It still is very much a crime spree, mystery-solving, car-driving franchise, which is weird because they do end up in outer space in their car.
How do they end up in outer space?
I hadn't really locked in exactly
in a normal car?
In a normal, well, not exactly normal.
It had to be adapted.
It's an adapted, was it
my
a
goodness.
2002, Honda
Civic souped up?
Yeah, that they added a rocket engine to see who'd go the fastest. Why?
Oh,
because
my gosh.
we want to see if we can do it.
I mean, am I going to...
You can't ruin
question of
anything. He's been out for
oxygen?
20
I
years.
mean, how did they survive?
They had suits on. It was fine.
Oh.
They planned ahead. Anyways, the whole point is that there's just some silliness that happens where initially it was no silly at all. Just there's a love story happening. There's a real car drama. You don't know what his backstory is. His dad's dead. Dom's a real serious character. I mean, they added fun into it. Thankfully, it got a little bit funnier. By the time the 5th one comes around, you've got a couple of the repeat characters, and some of the characters have maybe played a little bit too much or had a little bit too much fun. So now they're going for it. For the last 5 movies, it's mostly just that I've really gotten on board with some of the goofy characters that they've added. Yes, Dom's very serious. Yes, of course he's very serious. Yes, Hobbs and Shaw, the other guys, the cops and the bad guy's brother, and all those storylines are very important. But Ludacris and Tyrese are hysterical, and their interplay is that's the comic relief that you need for these. And unfortunately, I think that spot was kind of where Paul Walker was. He kind of did bring some levity. He had a goofy smile, you're bullshitting me kind of I'm going to get away with this. I'm Paul Walker. I'm the franchise. You're not going to kill me. He had kind of a levity in his character where now he's gone. He died, and they haven't really kind of addressed that in the franchise. He's still alive. He's somewhere. He's just not part of the... He can't commit these crimes anymore.
Oh,
I can't live your lifestyle.
So they didn't kill him off within the franchise?
No, they didn't kill him off in the
Okay.
franchise, but they also gave you a whole memorial at the end of 8, where it's a montage of all the shots of him. And they're telling the audience, we know he's gone. We're also not going to kill him off in some half-assed storyline that happened in between movies. Mm-hmm. We didn't do it in one of the movies. We're not doing it.
Interesting.
So I did enjoy watching all of his work again, but when I knew that I was going to start missing him in the franchise, and I had kind of lost steam on watching all of them going to the theaters, which is why I was I don't think I've watched 9 all the way through.
There's 9?
They
No, there's
are
10.
in space in 9, and for sure that's where I bailed. I just like, they're going to space. I'm not getting in that car or strapping into that ride at all. But no, this is the Fast and the Furious Fast 10, Fast X. Fasten your seatbelts.
Fasten your seatbelts. I like that. That was good.
But isn't it the 11th movie with Hobbs and Shaw?
Yes, and Hobbs and Shaw is presented by the Fast
It's
and
like
the Furious.
a side movie.
Yes, it's basically, we develop these really fun characters, and if we keep having them, go after our main guys, they're going to catch them and put them in jail. We'll have to have them go after some other criminals. We'll make a story.
Do something else.
We'll do something else.
Which ones are Charlize Theron in?
She's in like the last... Cypher, the last 3 or 4 of them.
Okay, first of all, John, how frequently do you watch these movies? You seem very up on it.
Yeah, look, I've seen them all.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
And I watched Fast 10 with me, Ed, when he was ready, because I hadn't seen it yet. There's not too many of them that I've watched many, many times. I mean, Fast 5, I've seen quite a few times, probably.
That's interesting. Okay.
It's a good one.
Well, because Liz, didn't you recently get sucked in on like an HBO? But I don't think it was 10. It must have been 9, right? I don't know which one it was.
Well, that's just it. It's like I decided, 10's finally out somewhere. Now I can like lock that down. You got to go to Hulu, Peacock, Max, and I had to grab one off of Pluto to get all 9.
Wow.
It was a lot of work, let me tell you.
That is weird when it's all scattered about.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was. And some of them are like really well branded, and then it stops after the 5th one. You're like, what's up, HBO? Give me a little bit more. No, we're done. We don't have any more. We can license them. Fine.
Those are
All
the
right.
ones we have. Keep looking for the other ones.
I'm highly recommending all those movies. It's not just for car nuts. It's about family, people, and getting away with crimes.
Wait a minute, Ed, have you not seen the 6-season animated show?
No, I didn't realize there was
6
an animated
seasons?
Fast and
spin-off.
Furious Spy Racers.
Listen,
Spy Racers.
I'm a fan of Vin Diesel, and if he's doing a voice in that, I'll probably like figure that out. But
I mean, it will have so much emotion.
I know. That's
such
actually that's
range.
kind of the
So
joke
deep.
that I was about to go for. As I was watching this franchise, I had to stop and take a note of like, do I just kind of want an all Groot version of everything Vin Diesel has done? Just every line about like, it's about family. I am Groot. I can just see him saying I am Groot in every single one of those lines. I don't live my life a quarter mile at a time. I am Groot.
Yeah.
He could do it. So maybe that needs to exist. Disney, look at
Yeah,
you. You're the
I'm
ones
sure
that could
they'll
do it.
get on it, yeah.
Give me a Groot app so I could just Grootize all the Vin Diesels.
Well, you know what you could do? You could take all of the I Am Groots from Guardians of the Galaxy and then just dub them over and make your own version of this movie where that's all he says.
Vin, are you busy? Do you want to get together? We got a studio. You just come in here and record them. We'll play it
I
back.
love it.
You'll just do I am Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot.
I'm not signing off on this. Oh my Lord.
All right, so all 10,
All 10.
available, but various places.
Scattered all over the place, like some of the car parts from these movies.
Oh my. Okay. So 10 plus the.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
Actually, yes.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot. And I don't want to ruin anything for anyone. Because in this 10th movie, there is kind of this great backstory and like pullback, which is like, oh, this is a good reason to have watched all of these movies because they're actually pulling back references and resources from these other spots. It's a part 1 of 2.
Oh my gosh, what are they doing?
I know. Whatever. Anyway, so just don't get disappointed that you get to the end of the 10th plus movie and you're like, the story's not over. There's more story.
Son of
Put the brakes on it.
They're not done. Obviously, they're not done. Okay. Isn't Helen Mirren in 1 or 2 of these or something?
She might be the only matriarch in the entire franchise. I don't know that there's another mother. Is there?
First of all,
I mean, new mother. I'm saying like mother of the cast. The baby's not in it yet.
I'm sure all
That's
of
not
those,
true. He's a little bit in this last one.
those definitely all meant something. But in this last movie, we got a new matriarch. Rita Moreno is Dom's mother.
Right.
That's true.
Right. I did see that in the trailer. Oh, love her. Okay, so we've got Helen Mirren and Rita Moreno in there, just as like bonuses. By the time you get to 9 and 10, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. I did remember that Helen Mirren is like a driver too. She's like totally badass driver, which
Of
I
course
thought
she
was
is.
hilarious. I mean, you know.
Cool. Everybody in that movie can drive stick. That doesn't even come up once. That
Well.
nobody could drive stick. That hasn't even been a joke. I can't believe they haven't made fun of someone for not being able to drive stick. They get into the driver's seat with Dom, and they're like,
Of course.
Never mind. You switch. You drive.
Yeah.
That would
Well,
be great.
maybe somebody's significant other in one of the future movies. That would be a funny bit. Like, oh my God, what? So-and-so's girlfriend/boyfriend can't drive stick? What is happening?
I've never had to. I didn't know.
Yeah. Most people don't. So, all right, cool. Thank you, Ed. All right.